Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN SC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Craig Burley, Stevie Nicol, and we also welcome to the programme Frank Leboeuf joins us today. A programme really which is all about the Premier League, giving a full calendar of Boxing Day matches today. We'll start off with the league leaders who came from behind to beat West Ham by 3-1. All of Arsenal's goals coming in the second half. Nketiah, Martinelli and Saka giving Arteta's side 3 more points, and as it stands, it puts them 7 clear at the top of the table. City, of course, in action later on in the week. Newcastle moved up to second. We'll speak about them a little later on. But let's start off, shall we, with the Gunners, who, Craig, just pretty much have started where they left off. They were really good, especially in the second half today.
No, they did, and obviously West Ham taking the lead, hitting on the counter-attack. I mean, I don't know about the lads. I didn't have a problem with the penalty.
No.
I thought it was good refereeing from Michael Oliver, right on the spot. Just because Jared Bowen doesn't go down, it doesn't mean there's no contact, so good spot there. Antonio was a problem over the top, and that's at times. But yeah.
They're a good team to watch as well, aren't they, Frank?
Very much so. I mean, I love that the fact that they had in control of the game for 90 minutes. Even if they conceded a goal, you know, it was mostly a counter-attack. But I like the enthusiasm that they put into the game. They want to win every time. They put the pace. They go forward. They imagine scenarios on top of it, how you can trick the others. But always with a good pace. Is not a tiki-taka that you know that I'm not a big fan with. They're very vertical, and they have a master. They have a master. That young Odegaard is getting better and better. Even if he was very lucky on the assist on Saka, because I think he wanted to shoot on goal. But really, everybody has a good part. You know, the defenders does what they have to do. Ramsdale had one save to make, and he did. At front, you know, I thought Nketiah has been working hard, you know, to help the team. It's been awarded by the third goal that the Gunners scored. Everybody does the job. And even Shaka in the middle of the park, I mean, with Partey and Odegaard, it's why they win games, because they win all the ball they have to win. Everybody is spot on, they work hard all together, and it's why you have to be careful. If you want to bring somebody, you have to make sure that he's going to fit to the squad and doesn't destroy this atmosphere.
Well, there was a huge slice of luck, as Frank talked about, with the first goal that Saka scored.
Yes.
And by the way, great strength from him in the lead up to it. I mean, I suppose in some way, perfect scenario for Arteta. Eventually, young Nketiah gets his goal. So there's always going to be a big question there. There is until the window closes. Martinelli and Saka on the score sheet, the 2 wide guys that have been brilliant for them. And all this talk about, well, there's been some talk, and we've indulged in it, in João Felix.
Yes.
And would that be a potential for a player to come in? Maybe short term, but you're not really taking, you're not taking Odegaard out of the team. Mm-hmm. You're not moving him out of position. He's playing too well. He's the captain. He's offering. He was man of the match, I think, in the game by the host broadcaster in the UK. So you're not really changing. I tell you, the one thing that annoys me though, in a sense, and it's not on the field, it's just slightly off the field, is Mikel Arteta. Right?
He can't help himself.
No, I know he can't help himself, and I understand managers bobbing up and down crazily. But there's a technical area there for a reason. And at one point in the second half, if I was Soufal, I think I might have tried to pick him up and throw him back in the technical area. He's getting too close.
Right.
Too much.
It is too much. It's too much. And the fourth official has to say, look. I mean, he's almost on top of players when they're running down sometimes when you're running back as a defender or running forward as an attacker, you have to just leave the pitch momentarily. If you're bending a run or you're going shoulder to shoulder with somebody. He stood there. And also, he's out with the old imaginary cards, as he was for the challenge on Kieran Tierney, I think, by Jared Bowen, which wasn't an elbow, the arm was up. And so there are a few things about him, that's off the footballing side, that I think he needs to sort of rein in a little bit. But in terms of on the field, they've just, as you said, picked up where they left off.
But from a footballing side, the players seem to buy whatever he's selling, Stevie.
Well, not only are they buying what he's selling, but they actually make it look pretty easy. You know, they all look comfortable. They all seem to know exactly where everybody's going to be. They seem to know everybody's strengths. I mean, again, that's one of the keys of a great side. When you know what the positives and negatives are of the players around you, then when you're passing the ball to them, then Simple things like putting it on the right foot or putting it in front of them or putting it behind them. All of these things that sometimes teams can't do, they make it look really simple.
They can win the league?
No.
No, I'd still say City.
See, here's the problem. If you ask yourself, right, there's going to be a lot of people will be pleased for Eddie Nketiah. Young boy coming in, lots of pressure on him. Gabriel Jesus out. All right, he's had some game time in the past. He's not a fledgling, but you know he's not somebody who's been looked upon to carry a team. And if you look at it, Arsenal fans will be thinking, "Oh yeah, this is brilliant." When you look at the big picture, is he a step down from Jesus? Of course he is. If Jesus was fully fit now, would the conversation change in terms of that question?
Yes. Yeah.
You'd still be going, City, still going to be tough. You take Jesus out and put a less experienced player in who has got himself a goal in this game, and then think about it for the rest of the season. There's more than 50% of the season gone. We're not even at a halfway stage yet.
Yeah.
That's a big challenge. Unless they know Jesus is coming back a little quicker than maybe he's been reported, I definitely think they're going to have to beef up that area, as I said the other day, even if it's a short-term move.
But it is tough, because if you do bring a João Felix in, for example, he's not coming there to sit on the bench.
Right.
So then you can't not play Martinelli. You can't not play Saga. Do you play Felix?
And you're mixing with a formula that's working at the moment.
It's such a fine balancing act. I mean, I think of Newcastle back in the 90s when they signed a guy called Tino Asprilla, and he completely messed everything up. The way they were playing was similar to Arsenal. It was all flowing, it was all easy, everybody knew their job. And then when they made that change, it kind of fell apart and they ended up losing the league to Manchester United. So you have to be careful when you bring somebody in.
On top of it, when you're talking about Gabriel Jesus, before he got injured, some criticism came up saying that he wasn't scoring enough goals, So nothing is perfect in a perfect world, and you have to accept that you have a squad.
Of course it is. I don't want it to be a perfect world.
But everything seems to be everything seems to be working very well. They got 30, I don't know how many points in 47 points. It's crazy. They lost like 7 points in all the games that they played. So it seems to be perfect for me. But there was some criticism about Gabriel Jesus, so it wasn't perfect with him as well. So you could have criticism toward that. So having Nketiah, I think it's a good substitution. And meanwhile, Gabriel Jesus comes back to fitness. Do you really need to get somebody? If you keep on playing like they play today, if you keep on winning, what the point to, as we all agreed, bring somebody who you're not sure is gonna do better than the others already in charge.
There's so much more to Gabriel Jesus' game, though.
Right.
It's like, I understand, but there is a lot of facets to his game. There's always good news round the corner. I'm looking at, just the fixtures. It's just there's so many questions to try and win this league.
Yeah.
Brighton, who are going great.
Yeah.
Newcastle, cup game, then Tottenham and Man United coming up, and then they're away to then they're playing hapless Everton.
Right.
At the moment. It's just another barrier for Arteta. I mean, so far they're clearing those hurdles.
Yeah, West Ham are terrible as well, by the way, aren't they?
Oh, they haven't been playing particularly well, and they set up for a defensive. It's amazing how Paquetá looks like a Brazilian international in the Brazilian team, and he looks like a West Ham player in the West Ham team. It does. But these hurdles are they're going to have to, and so far they've dealt with them brilliantly. There's nothing to suggest that they can't cope with these games, and I know we're probably going to talk about Newcastle because they were brilliant. My honest thought on the whole thing is I think Arsenal will sit in their hands and wait on Jesus coming back.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try and ride it out. I think that's what they'll try and do.